In this video, we're going to be talking about a word tai, which means excessively. Essentially, it means excessively. The idea of tai is there is a normal standard, a line, and tai exceeds that standard of normalcy. So it's a way to say extremely or very, it's excessively. It can be used to say, like, the way we use in English when we say somebody is so happy. He is so happy. He's such a happy person. That so, which simply means extremely or very, but it could also be used to say something is too much, like it's too hot. It's not just saying it's very hot, but it's saying it's hotter than I can stand, or it's hotter than I'm willing to endure, or that kind of idea where it exceeds what is okay. So here we have some examples. I wanted to point out the basic formula for the phrase when you're making an exclamatory phrase about something being extremely or too. It is tai, adjective le. Tai, adjective le. The le in this case does not mean change of state, and it does not mean completion. It's simply basically like in that it's showing an exclamation. So it's like an exclamation point, a verbal exclamation point on the phrase. So if I say 太好了, 好 means good, so 太好了 means so great. If I say 外面太热了, 外面太热了, 热 means hot. So 外面 means outside. So outside it's so hot or too hot, depending on the context. So 太, adjective le, means something is very extremely or too, in the sense of it's more than I can bear or more than I'm willing to accept. So that's the use of tai. When tai is negated, it has it's bútài, and it means that something is not very whatever. It's not too or not very. So let me give you some phrases. You don't use le when you negate it, because le, the purpose is an exclamation. Whereas when you negate it, you're actually having the opposite effect. You're saying it's not very something. So there's no le. 我的电脑不太好. 电脑 means computer. 我的 means mine. That's that use of the again. 我的 my. 我的电脑 my computer 不太好. Not very good. It's not too good, or it's not very good. So 我的电脑不太好. So that's how you use it when you negate it. I want to point out that 不太 can be used with psychological verbs in ways that wouldn't translate well into English. Let me give you an example. 喜欢 means to like or not like. 喜欢, like. That is a psychological verb that in English you wouldn't say. So this phrase is 我不太喜欢吃苹果. I not to like eat apples. In English you wouldn't say I not to like to eat apples. You don't say it that way, but in Chinese you can. 我不I not to like eat apples. In English you would say I don't like to eat apples very much. That's how we say. I guess we could say I don't like to eat apples too much, and so that's similar. But it's used in Chinese more to say not very. In ways that don't translate too well in English. So that's the use of tai, extremely, excessively, very. Now I'm going to teach you the use of a very common word, 在. It has two main uses. The first one sort of has two different ways it works, and so we'll start there. So 在 can be used to talk about location. It's a verb indicating location, or sometimes it's in a prepositional phrase. But we'll start with this one. So if I want to say where something is located somewhere, then I use the phrase 在 plus place. That's the formula, 在 plus place. So if I want to say on my hand, 在手上, that means on hand above. So the place, if I want to say in China, 在中国. 我在中国 means I, so the subject goes first. 我在中国, I am in China. So 在 and place. Now place can be a place like China or Beijing or Pennsylvania, but it can also be any noun with a direction word. And in English, these are prepositional phrases, but a direction word is any word that indicates direction, like on, above, under, around, inside, outside. Those kind of words are direction words. So anything can become a location if I use direction word. Like I just said, 在手上. That means, 上 means on or above. So when I say 手机, this is phone, cell phone, 手机在手上. That means the phone, that's the noun, 在手, 手 is hand, 上 is above. So that it's using this, 手机在手 hand, 上 above or on. So it's either a place, a name of a place, or a noun plus the direction word. And that's very important to remember that, because this is not very intuitive in English. It's a kind of its own construction. Let me give you another example. 书在床上. 书 is book, 床 is bed, 上 is on. So this in English is the book is on the bed. 书 book 在床上. So that's how it works. And also the same it's basically the same, but it can be part of a fuller idea where you're saying not where something is located, but where some action has taken place. So let's look at this one. 他在床上看书. Let me back up to the formula. It's subject plus the 在 location phrase plus verb and object if there's an object. So 他在床上看书. 看书 means to read a book, or read books. So 他在床上, he 在床上, on the bed, but it's using this construction here. 他在床上看书. He is reading books, or read books, or whatever. I don't know what tense it is. But 他在床上看书. He's reading books on the bed. Here's another case. I didn't write the Chinese characters here just to save space. 我在中国工作. So this is 我在中国. I'm in China. This is 我在中国工作. 工作 means to work. So that means I work in China. Notice the very different word order from English. In English, it's I work in China. In Chinese, it's I in China work. The place something, location something happened usually goes before the verb, between the subject and the verb. So that's the use of 在 as a location marker. The other use of 在 is 在 comes right before a verb to indicate that it's currently happening. So very similar to in English when we say ing, like I'm standing here. That would in Chinese you can say 在 if it's an action verb to indicate that something is currently happening. So the formula is subject plus 在 plus verb and object if there's an object. So here is a great example. There's no pinyin. 我在看书. I 在看书. 看书 means reading book. 我在看书 means I'm reading a book currently. 我在看书. 他在吃饭. He is eating. 他在吃饭. Okay, so you may be thinking, you may be thinking, what if I want to say both things at once? What if I want to say, I want to emphasize that I'm currently doing something at a location? How do I do that? Because 在, you're not going to use two 在's. You don't use 在 twice in a sentence for location and to say that something is currently happening. So in order to do that, first of all, it's not very common that you really need to emphasize both of these things because context will tell you a lot, but it could happen. And let me give you an example. Imagine a phone conversation where someone is sitting on a couch and eating, and the other person who owns the house is talking to them on the phone. And the person who owns the house says, hey, remember, don't eat on the couch. And the person is eating on the couch right now. It says, oh my, I forgot, I'm eating on the couch right now. So that's an example when you need to emphasize both things, the right now and the location. And so that it could happen. In that phrase, this is how you can do it. I forgot to mention that this use of 在, there's a more fuller, and maybe if you want to emphasize the idea a little bit, you can use the word the 正在. So 在 by itself means something's currently happening, but 正在 is a fuller word that maybe can emphasize it, and so that's what you use here. 我正在沙发上吃饭. So 沙发上 means on, or 在沙发上 rather, means 在沙发上. It's on the sofa. 沙发 is one of those words that actually comes from English, and so it sounds like English. Sofa. 在沙发上, on the sofa. 吃饭 is eat. 我正在, I am right now on the sofa eating. So that's how that would look. I also wanted to point out, going back to this idea here, using the 在 as a location phrase, that it's very different from the English grammar, because English uses a to be verb. If I say I am in China, so am is the to be verb. I am in China. And in Chinese, there is no to be verb. 在 is actually the verb in this sentence. 我在. It's like I am located. You can think of it that way. I am located China. Or 书 book 在床上, located bed on. So it's a very different grammar and you need to get used to it. You're doing great. Keep it up.